Along with individual experts, Surgeon Masters brings you life improvement strategies in 10 minutes. These proven principles and strategies are easy to learn and can be applied immediately, allowing you to practice your best. Here's your host, Jeff Smith.
On this episode of the Surgeon Masters mini podcast, I have with me Dr. Charity Hicks, a physician burnout and wellness coach for introverts in healthcare and non-clinical ophthalmologists. Welcome, Charity.
Hi, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
You're one of the fellow coaches, like you're trying to help other people. So I love that. Tell me what it is you want to share with us today.
Yeah, well, first, again, thanks for having me. It's fun that we've connected through coaching. And we were just talking a little bit about, before we started recording, that I had actually found out about you many years ago when I was experiencing burnout and searching for a coach. So it's fun to, I guess, meet the legend that I've known about all these years.
Well, I will just tell you that legend comes with a lot of pain along the way because it wasn't super popular in medicine before, but it's been fun being kind of an innovator in this space and really excited to have other people joining in because there's so many people that I think that we can help.
Yeah, I agree. And I love, like you mentioned, probably back. So I found you in 2017. So back at that time, there wasn't a lot of talk about support for physicians and burnout and their struggles in medicine. And I love that things are opening up now and there are definitely more resources out there. And it's easier for people to talk about it now too, I think. So I love that we're able to bring it to the forefront.
Fantastic. And remember if I've shared this with you, but this is, a podcast world. It's out on the website. But the people that you work with really resonates with me because I consider myself an introvert functioning in an extroverted world. And I feel like that is pretty challenging, but it seems kind of like a little bit like I have to. I mean, obviously there's a choice there, but yeah, that's really cool because it's hard doing some of this stuff.
Yeah. And I've often thought, and I've probably written about this too, that I think introverts are perfect for medicine. We have a lot of traits that make us good physicians. Inquisitive, we're always researching, we're introspective, we're always thinking things over, looking at things from every angle. And at the same time, that's great for being a physician. The way medicine is organized and the way we are forced to interact with so many people can also be very draining for an introvert. And so that's why I kind of chose introverts as the people that I wanted to focus on when helping for burnout.
So tell us a little bit more about that. That sounds very interesting.
When, you think about your day-to-day, introverts, for people who aren't familiar with the introvert-extrovert spectrum, introverts tend to regain their energy in solitude, whereas extroverts, they get fired up by being around people. So what is medicine but interacting with people? And there's often a misconception that introverts don't like people, and that's not true. We like people, but we also like our alone time. And so with medicine, and especially I think now with the push for people to be seeing more and more patients, that's very draining for introverts. And so there's this aspect, before you even consider all the other elements that contribute to burnout in healthcare, there's this aspect that introverts are dealing with that there isn't a lot of alone time baked into your day. And there's not. So you have to be very proactive in recharging and giving yourself a little space for yourself. Like, for instance, typically when I was practicing, I would make sure that I came home for lunch every day. Even if I only knew that I was going to be 15 minutes in my house, that was my alone time. And it was essential. And if I didn't get that, it definitely affected me for the rest of the day. And that sounds maybe to some, that would be like, oh, that's kind of ridiculous. But for me, it was essential. And so, I feel like there's a lot of introverts in medicine who are kind of pushed to keep performing without having that time to rejuvenate their energy.
So that's a great example. And the other language I heard you say was be proactive. And I think both of us recognize that there's the benefit of proactive. And then there's also times where it's a little too late, like you're already in the midst of whether it be overwhelm or burnout or a significant period of dissatisfaction, something, right? That's now, I'm guessing the same tools can be applied. to address
Right, yeah.
kind of what you're dealing with, right?
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of it when you're starting out, and for anyone that follows me, they'll know that I'm a nature lover. And so you'll probably hear me make nature analogies. So, I hike a lot. So I think of burnout kind of in terms of like the map. You want to create awareness. You need to know where you're at before you can create change. And so one of the things that I wanted to bring to your audience today, especially for introverts, but it works for everyone, is just, when you're in the middle of burnout, is creating awareness. Because if you don't know what's contributing, then you can't make a change. And so one of the things that I like to look at is if you think about your activities during the day, being able to pay attention to how you feel during the activity. So do you feel engaged? Are you bored? Are you stressed? Like, how are you feeling during an activity? And then after the activity, how do you feel? Is it something where you feel like, oh, even though it was stressful, I feel like I accomplished, or I feel energized, or no, like this just totally bummed me out? Like paying attention to that afterwards. And then also looking at what percentage of your day do you spend in each of those activities? Because all of that's contributing, whether you pay attention to it or not, is your overall energetic, right? And how you feel. And so to me, just that alone for some people can make a big shift, because sometimes you find out like, wow, that thing, I'm bored with it. It makes me feel crappy and I'm spending a lot of time there. Okay, so how can I go start to shift that and maybe make that a less significant part of my day? So that's one of the first places that I like to start is, again, where are you on the map?
Yeah, stepping back and looking at that, and then sounds like changing the path a little bit. Not necessarily like on a hike. It's not like you necessarily want to completely deviate from the path. You might want to just make some adjustments.
Yeah. So I call that like not walking in the rut, like in the trail, sometimes in the middle of the trail, there's the rut. So not walking in the rut. And it can often just be like, especially for introverts, it can be little things. And even looking ahead for your day, if for instance, there's going to be a day where it's going to be jam-packed, nonstop, you're not going to get to take a break, then make sure you're creating something before that day, like in the morning, or knowing that you're going to have something at the end of the day that's going to feel good. And sometimes it's that proactive, like looking ahead at your schedule and where can I pack this in? Or, like if I know this thing is going to be strenuous or stressful, then can I create a little break time before and after just to give myself a little space? And so it doesn't have to be like always a huge major change to start creating shifts and start feeling a little better. I'm definitely a person who is in favor of small steps to create big impact. And once you start making little changes, then you build that momentum for feeling better, and also just being more intentional about how you're spending your energy and communicating your energy needs with other people, because that can be a big thing too, that just letting other people know what you need, which can be really difficult for physicians, but just letting other people know, a lot of times people are willing to accommodate you if they just understand where you're at.
That's such fantastic stuff. Give us your summary of that, because those were great examples.
Yeah. So I think just in the end, it's creating awareness. I think awareness is so important. And it's for introverts, we're introspective, so we're probably pretty good at that anyway. But creating awareness, know where you're at, and then be proactive. Little shifts that you can make in your day to protect your energy.
Thank you, Charity.
Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate you inviting me on.
There you have it. In less than 10 minutes, this is Jeff Smith along with Dr. Charity Hicks. Until the next episode of Life Improvement Strategies for the Surgeon Who Wants More. Ciao.
Now, take 10 minutes and put your plan into action to practice your best.